whether to bring along the kids. It's your problem-solving power tool, the WZMQ 19 app, now playing on a phone near you.
I'm Rachel Knapp in Washington, only on 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lily Simmons. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, over the weekend, no Kings protests happened across the country and across the state. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent reports from Lansing. And we'll tell you what the latest numbers say about the president's approval ratings among American citizens and how the conflict in Iran is impacting their opinions. Plus, the Festival of the Angry Bear is making a return after last year's hiatus. We'll tell you what organizers have planned for this year's event. Your 19 News at 6 starts right now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Hey there, Kelly. How's our forecast looking for today?
Yeah, good evening, Lily. Things are looking good for tonight. It's going to be a very just all over the place springtime type of forecast for this week, especially in terms of what type of precipitation. We're going to see rain, snow, even some freezing rain at times. We're not seeing too much right now, maybe some light rain and some snow out to the west moving through, but temperatures are varying into the mid-30s for us here into Marquette, and we have some lower 50s down to Iron Mountain. So we'll stay around that freezing mark, dealing with some showers, maybe even some freezing rain and icy roadways for tomorrow. Those details on tomorrow and the rest of the week in just a few minutes.
Just in this afternoon, a Rapid River man is facing multiple felony charges after a traffic stop over the weekend. On Sunday, a state police trooper on patrol in Garden Township spotted a man riding a bicycle who had an active arrest warrant. The man, identified as 28-year-old Michael Riggers, was initially ignoring the trooper's commands to stop his bicycle. He rode to a nearby residence before complying and was then arrested for the warrant. Investigating troopers then discovered Riggers was carrying a concealed pistol without a license. He was also in possession of methamphetamine as well as prescription drugs that were not prescribed to him. During a search of his home, police seized additional methamphetamine, another pistol, and 14 long guns, one of which had been reported stolen 10 years ago. Today, Riggers was arraigned on charges of possession of methamphetamine, carrying a concealed weapon, maintaining a drug house, possession of analogs, and resisting and obstructing a police officer. He is set to appear in court again on April 9th. Over the weekend, peaceful protests took place in cities across Michigan and across the country. In Lansing, thousands gathered outside the state capitol, the largest No Kings gathering in the state so far. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy shows us what the turnout looked like.
The sound of chants and cheers echoed through downtown Lansing as thousands gathered at the state capitol Saturday.
We probably had 25,000 people here in Lansing when everybody could have gone to the one right in their own town. Yeah, the energy was amazing. People were very engaged. The march covered both ends. It was just streaming for a whole hour here.
Crowds filled the Capitol lawn with people packed shoulder to shoulder. Speakers throughout the day expressed concern that federal policies are not helping as many Americans as intended. Others pointed to rising costs, saying they felt it in everything from groceries to insurance.
At least 30% was here for the first time ever, have never been to a protest before. And that's because people are getting engaged and activated.
That first-time turnout was easy to see, with families, students, and retirees standing side by side. Some traveled from other parts of the state, choosing to come to Lansing despite events closer to home. Organizers said this year's crowd was significantly larger than last year, a sign, they say, of growing engagement.
This group spent countless hours every single day sharing their talents and their times in order to make this event happen, just because they know it was the right thing to do.
Volunteers helped to direct foot traffic, staff first aid stations, and hand out information.
We were split into so many signal chats, I honestly can't tell you exactly how many people volunteered to help this happen, but I know it was over 100 volunteers.
Throughout the day, speakers emphasized community, encouraging people to stay involved. While views varied, many shared a common message, a desire to be heard and to have a say in the country's direction. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Recent polls show that, on average, the majority of Americans disagree with the president on a key issue, his handling of the Iran conflict. And today, he renewed his threats to target Iranian oil and energy sites. Experts say Americans are wary of another war in the Middle East following the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's still unclear when the fighting will end, but as it's continued, it has sent oil and gas prices up and hurt the president's political support domestically. According to the latest numbers from Real Clear polling, 52% of Americans disapprove of military action against Iran. In a recent Pew Research Center poll, about 6 in 10 people disapprove of Trump's handling of the Iran conflict. Amid reports of more U.S. forces moving into the Middle East region, the president has not ruled out putting ground troops in Iran. But here's what the White House responded today when pressed about that possibility.
It's the Pentagon's job to provide maximum optionality to the president. It does not mean he's made a decision, nor would he ever notify the media of such decision as not to tip off our enemy. With respect to abiding by Congress and the rule of law, that's something the administration will, of course, always do.
Earlier this morning, the president took to social media, saying in part that there has been progress in talks with a possible new regime in Tehran. But he added that if they did not reach an agreement, he would destroy Iranian oil infrastructure sites, power plants, and potentially desalination plants. A partial government shutdown is heading into yet another week after a breakdown in Congress left funding for the Department of Homeland Security in limbo. With a lot of work still to be done, most lawmakers have left Washington and are back home for their 2-week spring recess. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon reports tonight from a quiet Capitol Hill.
The gridlock on Capitol Hill is deepening after the Republican-controlled House rejected a Senate GOP plan to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security late last week. Thursday evening and into the early hours of Friday, the Senate unanimously passed a measure to restore DHS funding.
The bill's amended is passed.
But without money for immigration and customs enforcement and parts of Customs and Border Protection. However, ICE and CBP are already operating with additional funds from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. By Friday, House Republican leaders said they would not take up the bill, opting instead for a short-term funding extension to fully fund DHS through late May.
It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that we would not be able to do that. We're not going to split apart two of the most important agencies in the government and leave them hanging like that. We just couldn't do it.
It was a public rejection of the Senate's bipartisan deal from one night earlier. Senate Democrats now calling the House's short-term funding measure dead on arrival.
You had a deal here where both sides were going away with something they didn't get. The Democrats weren't getting the changes to ICE that they wanted, and the Republicans weren't getting the changes to the voting regulations that they wanted. And then it went to the House and it all fell apart.
However, many TSA agents are finally starting to get paid for the first time in weeks following an order last week from President Trump. But with no agreement in sight and lawmakers away on spring recess, no clear timeline on just how long the partial shutdown could last.
This has the probability of going on as long as Donald Trump can find other pools of money that he can backfill for the TSA.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Your first warning weather forecast is after the break, and later we've got details on the 2026 Festival of the Angry Bear. We'll hear from the Ordock Brewing Company about what's in store for attendees in just a few minutes.
New CBS Tonight.
Popping off this many rounds? Sounds targeted.
That's where it gets interesting.
They smuggled a terrorist into the city and executed anyone who knew him.
Whoa. We need to move fast.
FBI is all new, followed by CIA. CBS Tonight.
This kid's been brainwashed.
He's a source of intelligence.
And it's our job to get him to help us now. Or else, people die. Or worse.
CIA is all new. CBS Tonight after a new FBI.
Get an 11% rebate from Menards and check that project off the list. Turn your tax refund into a new bathroom. With over 100 stock vanity lights to choose from, Patriot Lighting has the style for your space. This Jeffrey vanity light is a value of $88.99 after rebate. Max has more than 1,000 showers, doors, bathtubs, and surrounds to add luxury and style to your bathroom. This U-Towel shower kit is a value of $1899.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
What's bothering Archie?
Politics.
What the Supreme Court says ain't got nothing to do with the law.
Zucchini.
What do you call this?
Zucchini.
Looks like a cooked pickle.
How to raise children.
Get out of here.
sexual freedom?
What kind of a problem have they got?
It's sexual.
Shh.
Door tap.
Goldfish? Come on now, I draw the line on goldfish.
See what's bothering Archie.
All in the Family, Sundays from 8 to 10 on WZMQ Me TV. Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
The Shunk's Big Winter Sale. I've expanded our selection of American-made reclining furniture. Every one of these reclining groups come with 20 different fabric choices, and you still get the sale price. Recliners? Wow, we have over 200 recliners in stock for you to choose from. Regular recliners, and power lift recliners, and they're all on sale. We have hundreds of chairs to choose from. High-leg recliners to stress-free chairs with matching ottomans. They're all on sale. Shop Shunks at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. We're getting ready for this week ahead where we conclude March and enter April, and it's just going to be all over the place as it kind of is at this time in the early portions of spring. And right now the immediate issue, especially for a lot of these systems this week, is that potential for freezing rain, which means some icy roadways, and it's going to happen multiple times this week. We can already see some of that wintry mix wanting to start now out towards the western half of the Upper Peninsula, especially to the very outer portions where some of that rain and snow is mixing, and it really is just going to be that battle of temperatures where as it's falling, the precipitation doesn't know what it wants to be. It might refreeze just before contact, freeze on contact with the ground. That's freezing rain. It could be all snow, could be all rain. We will see everything this week, and even in just a short amount of time, some of you may see mostly snow, some of you mostly rain. But right now, temperatures, there's a lot of differing temperatures on here too. Mid-30s, 36 for us into Marquette, 53 down to Iron Mountain, 44 for Menominee, 52 for Manistee. So there's everything from lower 30s to mid to upper 50s. The winds are nice and calm, but we are going to be looking at that system to move through for the overnight and maybe give us some of that freezing rain for tomorrow. So it's on the colder side, especially for us in Marquette, because those winds are from the north. But this is going to be that system and may not fully develop until it almost kind of moves through for this initial round here around that midnight hour, where we could see Newberry and eastward see some of that freezing rain, and then that slick and icy roadway potential continues for the morning time. We see some rain. That mixing in between is that pink, and then up to Eagle Harbor you have that better chance of it just being snow. But everyone could see that mixing, which means the roadways, if it's not snow covered, if it's not slick from it being rain, then it's going to be ice, and that's the most dangerous type of precipitation to drive through. And also walking, and you might need to leave some time in the morning for your windshield to clear off maybe some of that frost. And so that's a round for tonight going into tomorrow morning, and then there is another round of a wintry mix potential for Thursday night going into Friday. So I put this all the way to Thursday morning just to show you that we could see a glazing of ice across the entire Upper Peninsula just from tonight, and then again another possibility for around Thursday night into Friday. Thursday looking like more of a snow type of event with a little bit of ice mixed in, when this one tonight into tomorrow looks more of an ice rather than snow. And then you see that big change in the snow totals from Wednesday night and into Thursday, and especially Thursday morning, where we see most of that snow. So we're going to see again a little bit of everything. Temperatures range all over the place. It's that rain and snow mixing of the ice for Tuesday night and Thursday night that we need to watch out for. And then as we head into Easter weekend, things are going to be on the cold side with possibly some scattered snow showers.
Thanks, Kelly. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you what's new with the Iron Ore Heritage Recreation Authority. That's next on Insights.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. Step 1, call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. Step 2, our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. Step 3, our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-279-0308. That's 800-279-0308. 800-279-0308 now, before the offer ends.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Lily Simmons.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our monthly check-in with the Iron Ore Heritage Recreation Authority. Joining us in the studio is Trail Administrator Bob Hendrickson. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me in, Lily.
Absolutely glad to have you. So what is the latest with the projects that you've been working on?
Well, we're right now in the preliminary stages of getting things planned out for the summer. So one of the things that we have going is the Lankin Inland Extension. We're doing a refurbish of the existing trail, so it's going to be a multi-use trail for both motorized and non-motorized. That currently is in review with the Michigan DNR Grants Division, and once they give approval of that, then we'll be able to go to the bidding process, which will probably take about 2 to 3 weeks after we get the okay. So about mid-May, we'll know about when we'll have a timeline to construct it during the summer.
All right. And you guys are working on sort of a storytelling initiative?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we do, a lot of people, when they think of the Iron Ore Heritage Trail, they think of recreation and cycling, but it's actually, a linear museum too, and that's the design behind it, is that it tells the iron ore history from the mine sites up to the west end of the UP all the way down to the shore. It talks about the people, the geology, the ecology of the area. So what we have coming up, we have the Ishpeming Rock and Mineral Club are sponsoring a sign in Ishpeming. It'll be just off 7th Street by their mile marker of the Cleveland Mine, New York mine. It's one of the prominent mines of Ishpeming back from the 1800s, a very large mine. It's now filled water, they're flooded in, but the old machine house is still there, and then we'll tell the story of that with the help of the Ishpeming Rock and Mineral Club. And another one that we're working on is the Barnes-Hecker Memorial. And that's not so much an interpretive sign. It's going to tell a little bit of the story of the Barnes-Hecker disaster, but it's also a route finding sign. So this will be on Wawanwin Road, where the trail crosses there, just past the golf course. And it'll direct people north along the county roads to the Barnes-Hecker mine site. And Ely Township is working very hard on kind of creating a park area in that section. And so we want to guide people to that from their heritage trail, so they can take a short bike ride or even an ORV ride up to that mine site and see what they're doing there.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
And it is technically spring. It doesn't really feel like it yet. So where do you guys stand as far as winter trail grooming, things like that?
Yeah, right now we're pretty much the only section that we groom for non-motorized use is between Nagani and Ishpeming. The rest of the trail is snowmobile trail, which that finishes up tomorrow. So March 31st is the last day for the snowmobile season. However, the trail won't be closed. This section of the trail is open year-round, but we just want to make sure people are reminded that there won't be grooming happening. As things melt, it's really important for people to be conscious of the thaw, especially wheeled vehicles. And this includes motorized vehicle wheels and non-motorized. So a lot of trail damage can happen in these soft months between winter to spring and when we dry out. So if you're leaving an indent on the trail or creating mud splash, that's probably too soft to be on the trail at that point. So we suggest that people either use pavement. There are paved sections of the trail, and that's how the trail usually dries out from the shoreline up. So usually the area from Chocolate Township up through Marquette Township dries out first. That's a great place to start out using the trail. And then as things dry out to the west, start going to those those sections of the trail to use.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me in.
Appreciate
Appreciate
Absolutely. When we return, Jim Koski will join us live for another Slice of Life in the 906. And later, we're going to show you how a local author celebrated the launch of his newest book over the weekend. Stay with us.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus, 1 year free financing and free delivery.
We examine EKGs and use advanced imaging to uncover minute details. But what we see is you. We see how your heart beats with love and powers laughter. Even as we practice the latest medical science and perform advanced procedures, what we see is how we can help you live a healthy and active life. Healthcare is a lot of things, but the best care is human. Aspirus Heart Care. What we see is you.
New tonight.
I can tell deep down that you are dying to do what I do. This is where the real problems of the world get solved. Here, in the shadows.
They're an elite CIA, FBI fusion cell.
Pretty slick, huh? You have to be a machine in this job. That's a lonely way to live. You really pulled your weight this time, finally.
The new series CIA after a new FBI CBS Tonight.
Closed captioning sponsored by Range Bank of Upper Michigan.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, Jess from Planetary Design will pour 60 cups of coffee for 60 adventurers.
Shoot, lost count.
Shop small business on Amazon. To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, John from Bluecorn Beeswax will light 60 candles for Marv and Ethel's 60th wedding anniversary.
Marv? Ethel?
Shop small business on Amazon.
The Shortlist, a countdown show that's all sports. Only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
On today's Life in the 906, Jim Koski is sharing his thoughts on some of the UP's most iconic foods. Jim, what do you have for us today?
Well, you know what, Lily? As we all know, there are 3 official foods of the UP: pasties, kudigi, and fudge. Now, I was having a discussion with someone about the subject a couple of days ago, and they thought that maybe, just maybe, we should add a 4th food in there just to vary the diet. Now, my first thought was beer, but let's just call that the official beverage of the UP, and for now, leave it at that. So if we were to add a 4th item to the list of official foods of the UP, what might that food be? Venison? Well, I think that's an acquired taste. Squeaky cheese? That might be too much of a niche item. But this time of the year, I think there's a perfect candidate for the 4th official food of the UP, and that would be the fish fry. Now, first of all, I know that fish fry is not in and of itself a food, but fish fry encompasses a kind of meal that you can't find in too many places in the U.S., and like pasty and kudigi, fish fries have been around the UP for as long as there's been a UP. Now, the funny thing about fish fries is that while you can enjoy them at your favorite restaurant, the best ones are usually put on by a church or a service club. Maybe that's not surprising, considering that some people say fish fries were invented to get around Lenten restrictions on eating meat. But think about it. How many times have you heard someone say something along the lines of, "I'm going down to the Legion for a fish fry," and you don't even give it a second thought? The fish fry is whatever you want it to be, wherever you want it to be. This time of the year, the fish fry is part of who we as Yoopers are. And that's why I think a serious case could be made for adding fish fry onto the list of official foods of the UP, topping kudigi and fudge, maybe pulling even with beer, and just trailing in popularity the one food that someone who's not here tonight seems to be avoiding, the pasty. I'm Jim Koski, and that's another slice of life in the 906.
Thank you very much, Jim. And don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. After a year of hibernation, Festival of the Angry Bear returns to Marquette's Ordock Brewing Company in less than 2 weeks. WZMQ 19's Andrew Hans has more on what to expect this year.
Following the absence of the 2025 Angry Bear to put more focus into its building expansion, the Ordock Brewing Company is happy to bring back the beloved festival in April.
With all of that happening, we just wanted to really make sure we executed that well.
The festival returns with 6 live bands and 2 DJ sets, 20 drinks on tap, and 6 food trucks on site, utilizing both front and back spaces of the brewery.
That is probably the biggest new thing this year. We're really excited to be able to utilize and just enhance that space for everybody.
This year, wristbands will be required for entry. These and all other Angry Bear necessities can be purchased at either the gate or in the brewery's pre-sale party on April 3rd.
An Angry Bear pre-party. We're going to be doing raffle giveaways. I think we have about 10. It's free to attend, but everybody who comes will get 1 raffle entry. And then, you know, if you already have your wristbands and everything, that's kind of going to be your fast pass into the festival.
Next to the pre-party, 3 separate events will also take place prior to the main event. These include a Flower Crown workshop, Baby Bear at the UP Children's Museum, and the return of the Angry Bear 5K. The brewery says on Saturday afternoon to expect a familiar schedule.
You know, every year we say it definitely takes a village to make this happen. People can kind of look forward to a similar festival as every other year, but yeah, we're really excited to be bringing this back. I think the community is really excited as well. Everybody missed it last year, including us.
The return of Angry Bear will kick off on Saturday, April 11th at 3 p.m. In Marquette, Andrew Hans, WZMQ 19 News.
Kelly has one final look at the forecast after the break. Plus, we'll meet a local teacher and author who's just released the newest installment of his mystery series. That's next.
Live outside Marquette County? Recycle 906 is worth the drive. We accept cans, cardboard, plastics, and more. Bring it in. Keep the Upper Peninsula clean. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Anything that's wrong with America can be fixed by what's right in America. We are defined more by our shared values and our differences, and we're having a conversation about how.
Jeff Mancini here with an incredible offer from Mighty Bite. We're celebrating 15 years and the most lure patents in history. Mighty Bite looks, smells, sounds, feels, tastes, and swims like a wounded baitfish. With millions of pieces sold and fish being caught around the world, Mighty Bite's interchangeable adaptive features transforms the lure, creating irresistible erratic wounded action that ignites the predatory instinct to make fish strike. Only Mighty Bite has real-life fin action that fish can't resist. Increased performance with our replaceable weights, sound rattles, and super scent stick attractant. It's better, lasts longer, and never washes off like all those other lures. So it just works better in almost every fishing situation and for every type of fish. Catch more and bigger fish with Mighty Bites. Guaranteed more bites or your money back. Order now and get 4 free gifts, including the incredible UFO Glow Kit to get the bite at night. Call or click today.
Hard Rock Bet Casino is here, Michigan. Roll with us.
On Hard Rock Bet, what you see when you sign up is actually what you get. 200 bonus spins. That means you get 200 chances to win real cash. If you're not up money after your first day playing slots, you get up to $1,000 back for another shot. Play again with a casino bonus on us. Roll with Michigan's newest casino app, where we put promos in bright lights and say it loud. No gimmicks.
And a final check of your forecast, starting to see some wintry mix developing out to the western portion of the Upper Peninsula. So we might get a little glaze of ice for the overnight as you wake up tomorrow morning. Just leave some extra time. Might be some slick and icy roadways out there. Not going to see too much warmth here in the northern parts of the Upper Peninsula. We'll see mid to upper 30s for us here, but down towards Iron Mountain, Menominee, Escanaba, we'll reach the 40s, upper 40s, maybe likely, but we're going to see that wintry mix continuing tonight. We have another round of that for Thursday night going into Friday, so we'll see a mix of rain and snow and temperatures all over the place, but staying pretty cold as we get closer to this Easter Sunday weekend. Make sure to tune in later tonight. I'll have another update on your forecast.
Thanks, Kelly. Finally tonight, a Marquette teacher and published mystery author celebrated the release of his latest book over the weekend. Saturday morning at Velodrome Coffee, Adam Dompierre launched the second installment of his Eddie London mystery series. He signed copies of the book, took photos with readers, and handed out bookmarks to those who stopped in to check out his latest work, which is titled The Fell Sergeant.
Eddie London is a quick-witted and slightly incompetent private eye in 1980s California, and a young woman shows up at his office. Her boyfriend has taken a fatal fall off a balcony, and the police have kind of closed the case on it, but she thinks there's more to the story, that something sinister has happened.
The Fell Sergeant is available now on Amazon, and Dompierre says there is a third installment already in the works. Thanks for joining us on your 19 News at 6. We'll see you right back here tonight at 11:10 Central.
Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. President Trump threatens to